Right, so in this video we're going to do the snowball blocks from lesson 3 of Learn to Quilt. So to do your snowball blocks, what you're going to need are your 6 different 6.5-inch squares. So each one is from a different fat quarter, and then also 24 of your 2.5-inch squares that you cut from the background fabric. And each snowball block you're going to do the same. You're going to take 4 of the 2.5-inch squares for each fat quarter 6.5-inch square. Now all of these, what we've done is we've drawn a diagonal line on the wrong side of the 2.5-inch square. You do that with all 24, and then you take 4 of them and put each one on a corner of your 6.5-inch square. So that's right sides together, so the wrong side is up, so you can see those lines. And you can see, hopefully you can see here, the lines go, so they're basically cutting off the corners, okay? We don't want our lines going right into the corner. We want each one to go so that it's cutting off the corner. And each one of these we're gonna sew right on that drawn line on each of the 4 corners. You're gonna do that with all 6 of these 6.5-inch squares. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that first and bring those all back ready to go. Alright, so I'm back with all of these. I've now sewn the 2.5-inch square onto the top of each of my 6.5-inch squares. So the next step with each one of these is to trim. And just any acrylic ruler that you have that has the 1/4-inch markings on it, put that first 1/4-inch line right on the stitch line and trim away the extra. We'll do the same here. So put that 1/4-inch on your sewn line, trim. So all we're doing is just giving you that 1/4-inch seam allowance. Okay, so we're going to do that with all of them. Then we're going to flip that out, and that's going to make our snowball block. Now if you're following the instructions, you'll see that the instructions tell you to press 3 of your snowball blocks. You want to press the seam towards the triangle that you've sewn on. The other 3, okay, so if we look at it from the back, we're pressing the seam allowance out the way. The other 3, what you're going to do is press the seam allowance in the way. Now if you're not terribly bothered about which which order everything is, it doesn't really matter. You can do 3 one way, 3 the other way. But if you want them to sort of match the instructions, it's fat quarters 1, 7, and 6 are the ones that you need to press out towards the triangle. 5, 3, and 8 are the ones that you're going to press the seam allowance in towards the center square. Okay, so I'm going to take those away and I'm going to press those. Okay, so I'm back now. I've trimmed all of these and I pressed them all. So these are my 6 snowball blocks. So just a reminder, this one, and this one, I've pressed all my seams so that they're going out towards the triangle. This one, and this one have been pressed so that they're going in to the center of the block. So we're going to assemble this essentially as a top row and then a bottom row. So when you put these right sides together, because you've pressed your seams in the opposite direction, this is going to allow you to lock and pin your seams. So just like we've been doing with our straight seams, this works even if your seam is on the diagonal, okay? So even though it's on a 45-degree angle, we can still lock those seams, and that's gonna help us to get a really nice, clean intersection of the 2 points. So you wanna press or pin both of those. And then as we've been doing, also pin right at the ends. So one near the beginning and another one near the end. Okay, so that's all pinned, ready to sew. Once we've sewn that with the 1/4-inch seam allowance, what you'll do is you'll do the same thing here, right sides together, lock and pin those seams, and then we're gonna press all of those seams to the right as per your instructions. Then you're gonna do the same thing with the bottom row, but with these, what you'll do is you'll press the seams to the left. Okay, I'm gonna go and do that now. Okay, I'm back with these stitched together. So I've got my top row is sewn together and my bottom row is sewn together. Remember, these two seams here, we press those to the right. These seams here, we press to the left, so that when we bring these together, we're going to be able to lock and pin those seams. So they're going to go right sides together. And as well as these seams here to lock and pin, of course, you've got all the seams for your snowball block. So let's just start with the straight seams, and remember, just slide those two seams together till you feel them hit each other and pin. Do the same thing with those two, just slide them until they meet, lock it and pin it. Okay, so that's those. And then what we can do is we can carry on now with the seams where our snowball blocks meet. So again, slide them till they meet. Once they're locked in place, you can put a pin there. Do the same thing on this side. Hopefully you'll find at this point they're kind of already in place, but you might have to do a little bit of fudging. You never know. Don't be alarmed if you do. It's normal. Okay, I can feel those two are meeting each other. I'm going to put a pin there. I'm going to put a pin this one. And then this last one, I'm going to slide them till they meet. Pin, and put another pin just at the end, one at the beginning, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to sew this. Okay, I've now sewn the top row to the bottom row. So we've sewn that and we pinned all of these intersections. So we've got nice sort of meeting of all of our points. And that final seam, when you join the top row to the bottom row, you're just pressing that up the way as per your instructions. Okay, that's your snowball blocks.